What's up, college football fans and Mean Green fans? Noe Valente here once again with the Mean Green Show. Today, joined by Miles, and we're going to jump into this Memphis game coming up for this Saturday. I, unfortunately was not able to get in contact with anybody who covers the Memphis football program to get them on, but it's always great to have Miles on. And he's so busy these days, it's hard to get him on as much as I would like to. But anyway, Miles, thanks for jumping on with me. How have you been, and how is your emotional state?
Well, Saturday was not great. It was one of the worst after game feelings I've had in a while. It's very demoralizing losing to a team like that. But I'm feeling pretty good. This weekend's gonna be tough. Memphis is not like the best football program in the country, and the G5 at least, and in the American too. I mean, they're not the best football team. They're significantly worse than SMU. But at the same time, after last week, they look like the UCF. They look like the best team in this country just by how Seth Hennigan's a really good quarterback, a Denton native. That's the big one. Denton native playing against North Texas. So I don't have high hopes this weekend. I just hope we make it out there with not many injuries and not a more than 30-point loss. It's kind of tough after a game like that.
Yeah, and we were talking pre-tape, and you said Hennigan has over 900 yards passing this year thus far. Averaging over 300 a game. And yeah, I think they're probably. I was listening to Matthew Bruni and Colin doing the Green Room, their podcast earlier today, and I think they had a lot of really great points. One of them being like Memphis is probably a middle of the pack AAC team as it sits right now. Not the top and not the bottom. So henceforth the middle. But anyway, so yeah, I'd explain it there. But I kind of see this Memphis team, as kind of maybe like a store brand / step down version of SMU. Maybe like this, they do have the ability to be explosive, not to the level of SMU, obviously, but just a lot of things they do, I feel like, are kind of similar to what SMU does. They just can't do it at the level that obviously SMU can. But anyway, I mean, it's shoot, man. I mean, the spread, it was like 11.5. Then it moved. Now I think it's at 12, maybe 12.5. So I'm kind of surprised it's that close. And kind of playing off, Matthew and Colin, they were saying, sometimes North Texas springs a game on opponents like this when they're really not supposed to, vis-a-vis UTSA last year and just some other games in the past. But I don't know, I mean, a path to victory for this one, for the North Texas team. I was trying to talk myself into it, but I guess just lean hard on the run game. And Ani didn't play. Ani played probably his best game up until those 2 interceptions there at the end.
I don't count that. That was the game was over. That game was over. They could have thrown in their backup at that point. The game was way over.
So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't by any means think this is an upset alert, but I don't know. Any hopes for you as far as UNT coming out getting a win?
Well, like you said, and like mostly everybody else that I've listened to has said, offense was not the problem last week. I mean, it was in certain situations, 4th and 1 at the 1. Just that's just a little time downs. It was really just defensively. North Texas could not stop the run game. I mean, right now we rank 126 out of 131, and no, is it 132 now with James Madison? Whatever it is, we're very bottom of the barrel defensively in general. Against the run defense, we got even worse. They had I think they had like 400 rushing yards, something crazy, over 300. I know. So I mean, if North Texas is going to win, they're going to have to stop Seth Hennigan. And at this rate, Hennigan's thrown for 940 yards. That's actually, I looked it up, 5 less than Austin Auni's thrown this year.
Wow.
I did not know that. I
didn't
expect that. And actually, North Texas has more passing yards in general because Grant Gunnell has.
Well, don't we have an extra game on them?
We do have an extra game.
So, okay. All right.
But hey,
you know what? It doesn't matter.
I was going to leave that out, but you know what? We're going to go into that. But no, North Texas offense not really the problem right now. It's just
Yeah.
play calling, but that's not the players' fault. They can't really. I mean, they can audible maybe. But I'm not for sure how they work with
Mm,
that. But defensively, it's how they can stop Hennigan if he's going to roll out, if he's going to throw to his many options at receivers. In 3 games, they have they have 5 100+ yard receivers. So, he has his targets. It's going to be tough. The secondary has to be ready for this. Uh, the line right now I saw on it's moving up and down. It has been moving up and down the entire week. It was at 11 yesterday. It's at 12.5 today.
mhm.
Um, if I was a good better, which I'm not, so I would say take the Memphis.
To cover. Yeah.
Just take Memphis to cover, but at the same time, North Texas should be putting up a fight. That's the thing.
Mhm.
It's year 7 of Latrell's era. You should put up a fight every single game. The only fight it would be against Alabama. You wouldn't put up a fight, but that's
Sure.
Alabama. We're playing Memphis, so I don't know.
Seems like
I
seems
just
like
don't
every
see this
week
thing
we
here.
play an Alabama team.
It feels like every out of conference game that's an actual good team. It's like we're playing a whole different team. It's like SEC level, and that's another problem for another day, for height and strength and all that. But Memphis is a bigger team than us, and it's going to be important for us to actually be able to wrap up mainly on those run plays that UNLV ran. Even though UNLV runs a lot more than Memphis does,
Mhm.
just I don't know. North Texas defense looked off. Katie Davis looked off. Mason Richards looked off. All these guys did not have a great game last week. And of course, you can't just base a season, can't base a future game off of a previous game. But after that, I mean, you don't see much. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Yeah,
It's
for
hard to say positive things about defense when you've given up like well over 1,000 yards
mhm.
rushing. I mean,
Mhm.
or maybe not 1,000 yards rushing, but you've given up a lot. I mean, I think they've given up 1,169 passing yards this year,
Mhm.
and they've given up 841 rushing yards this year. So that's about 2,000 total for the year. That's really bad in two
Yeah.
games. But you know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
for
It's
anyone
gonna be tough.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say for anyone listening, I mean, if you've got a point spread, do you think Memphis is gonna cover, or do you think UNT, may cover and or win? Let us know in the comments below. I really, curious to see what others think. But Miles, you got a point prediction?
Ooh, I don't know about that. I think the over under, if I'm correct, is like 60 something, 60, 70. Wow. Okay, that's very high. It's
Wow.
70. So I would say give me uh I don't want to like because it's gonna be over 30. I feel like at this point we're gonna say it's over 30. Because almost even Texas Southern almost scored 30 on us.
Mhm.
You know, uh, uh, Memphis is scoring over 40. Give me like 48-24, something like that.
Oh boy. Okay.
That's not good whatsoever,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
it's not a 30-point loss. I'll take that.
Yeah.
but
Hey, correct.
but right now they have to prove me wrong. If they cannot prove me wrong this weekend, next week when we play FAU, I'll say something totally different. Maybe it's a 17-14 game. But at this
Mhm.
at this rate, I don't see them giving up less than 30 points. It's just
Yeah.
the Memphis offense is good. But
Mhm.
at the same time, our defense is not as good, so it makes them look even better. But the thing is, we should be good defensively. We have talent. We have an All-American preseason All-American at linebacker, and
Yeah.
the fact that we're getting up like what is it like 30 something points a game? That's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, all true, right? So we'll see. Maybe I mean, and I don't want to come off as totally delusional, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I mean, I guess this game doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I mean, if they get whatever the score is, and then if they could somehow spring one on FAU, and then all of a sudden you're 2-0 in conference. But anyway, we'll see how
I
this
think the
game
best
plays out.
takeaway is to say we're one best positive takeaway spinoff of what we're saying here. We're 1-0 in conference play.
Hmm.
If you can beat FAU and you can beat La Tech, you're 3-0 in conference play. You're first
Yeah,
in the conference.
yeah,
That's not bad. But at the
yeah,
same time, you have to win the big games to be able to stay atop of the conference and stay undefeated in conference. But also, if you want me to do a positive spin, if you want to beat me to be positive, I'll be positive here. We're 1-0 in conference play. We
That's right.
beat UTEP, who I think they got their socks knocked off by New Mexico. That's actually really embarrassing. But
Yeah.
we'll put that in the past. That was on the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be really tough. Memphis is going to. Also, I think time of possession. North Texas held the ball for a lot longer. Yet, I don't know if this is a transition to your next topic, but like North Texas is really bad on short yard situations.
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen a team this bad on short yard situations ever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the SMU game. It's was it 3rd and 1 at the 1? Well, what's with the 1 yard line?
I don't know. I know you already touched on it, and I know Seth kind of mentioned it in his, or Coach Trell mentioned it in his presser about we'll do that every time. I don't know. It doesn't work for 4 times. You may want to do something else.
Well, I mean, you're going against a pretty good coach because the coach is Silver Mike something. I've completely just blanked on his name, but he's not a bad coach. He's going to prepare them very well. And besides, we don't really change a whole lot of plays. There's so many times last game we're running 2nd and 3rd down back-to-back plays, just the same one. It just I don't know. And that's the thing. If North Texas could have scored, 2 or 3 more times if they convert on 4th and 1, if they convert on 3rd and 2, just things like the little tiny short yard situations have been killer this year for North Texas. And if they can't get that figured out, they're not going to win hardly any conference games, especially against UTSA, UAB, especially UAB. They're huge up front.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, it'll be, as crazy as it may sound, I'm excited for the Memphis game. I'm excited to see how they come out and respond to a tough game against UNLV, and we'll just have to see where it goes. I mean, it'll be hopefully fun for longer than a quarter, but it's exciting nevertheless.
I would one takeaway before we end this. North Texas has forced, I think, 2 turnovers. That's a problem. If you cannot force turnovers, Seth Hennigan is 9 touchdowns, 0 picks this year. 9 touchdowns, 0 picks. If we cannot create a turnover this year, an interception this year, then there is a big problem. And that's just a takeaway. You have to create at least 1 turnover, and it doesn't matter what it is, but preferably an interception, because that's how teams win games. You get turnovers, the whole momentum swing. If they can't do that in this game, they're just going to run away with the ball, and it's not going to look good.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, all right, Miles. Thank you so much, and go Mean Green.
Go Mean Green.